Hey everybody, I'm back. Super Ninja Austin here. This is the 44th episode of the SNA podcast. And then we're going to talk about AEW Rampage, the Grand Slam 2-hour special event of tonight from I believe it was 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and then and 9 Central, 9 p.m. Central. But yeah, we're gonna begin. We're gonna start off with the. We're gonna start off right now with. Let's see right here. Let's see right here. Okay, we got that. We got tag team match with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus taking the co-TNT champions against Darby Allin and Sting. And we're going to start off with Darby Allin fighting Luchasaurus, I believe. This is when Luchasaurus grabbed him towards the apron, and he Irish whipped him right into the top left corner of Rita, the ring post. He landed face first, and it was like a human to car crash. Yeah, it was so bad and devastating. Yeah, of course. And yeah, I see. Really? Look at you.
No, look what it looked like.
What?
Look what's wrong with it.
Wow.
It looks like pitch patch.
What? It's patched?
Like,
They really do. You're not lying.
I just called him and went off on him.
Really?
How you gonna have a picture like this leave?
Hopefully they give you another one.
Oh, they gave me one for free. Look at this.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I want you to look.
I see.
And this from all places. Look.
All places is popping. Yeah, John's. I'll be
Yeah.
dang. I should have known. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, hopefully, yeah, my mom takes care of that pizza, that mess up pizza order that she had. But anyways, this is where Darby Allin looked like if he was legitimately injured, which I would say he probably was legitimately bruised up from taking a bump like that, such a bump like that. But let's hope he's okay from that and he didn't sustain an injury whatsoever. And this is where he got back in the ring. This is where Luchasaurus drags him in the ring. This is where he tags in Christian Cage. This is where he stomps right into the midsection. This is where he started hitting him with a knife edge chops right into the bottom ropes, the bottom side of the ropes in the ring. This is where he went to the right side. He started hitting him with right hands. This is where he started stepping him right into the ground with his head towards the canvas, and this is when he started hanging on to the ropes, like while he was doing so, like he would do with his opponents when they're on in the middle ropes, like hanging on there. When he starts standing on their backs, that's what of the scenario was. This is where Christian Cage and this is where Christian Cage and Luchasaurus would do what any old other heel tag teams would do. That's why they start doing tag backs to each other, playing tag back to each other, like and double teaming Darby Allin in heel fashion by double teaming him and tagging right back and come up with some tag team double team moves to do onto the former 3-time TNT champion. But this is where Luchasaurus threw him like if he was a helpless child to his corner with Christian Cage and Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where he tags in Christian back in the match. This is why I call him the captain of charisma. I say more like the captain of insulting dead fathers, and that's what had my mother dying with laughter when I said those lines. This is where this is where he started provoking and insulting Sting. This is where Sting's about to come out and try to kick his ass and try to run in. And this is where the referee had to hold him. This is where Christian Cage was dragging out and toying with the current TNT champion. This is where Darby had enough and started coming back, started countering, started punching, throwing right hand to the one half of the co-TNT champions. This is where he Irish whips Christian Cage right into the corner. This is where he counters and threw Irish whip him to the top of the rope corner. This is where he springboards and hit him with a coffin drop right into Christian Cage. This is where he was trying to head over to the tag in Sting. This is where the Luchasaurus prevented him from tagging in Sting by attacking Sting and lariating him right on the outside. I was like, dang, like he literally did that to the poor legend like that. Like, even though he could take like even worse bumps than that, and he's 64. I was like, did he really have to be so cruel to him? And then this is where Christian Cage drags him over and started hitting him with a half ankle lock, trying to be like somewhat of a half-ass version of Kurt Angle. I should have said that more proper. Let's just say he looking like a half-ass version of Kurt Angle trying to do the ankle lock without wearing his gear, of course. This is where he tags in Luchasaurus, and then this is when Luchasaurus starts stomping on his head while Christian Cage starts grabbing onto his head. And then this is where we also have Luchasaurus start hitting the maneuvers, like hit him with suplexes and what other moves? Sidewalk slams, that's right. Suplex, sidewalk slams, but only got him a 1-2, kick out right after 3. This is where he drags him right toward Christian's corner. This is when Christian started stomping on him like he was earlier, especially onto that head, which I believe was the same side where he got hit with that Rita the ring post. And then if it wasn't not planned, I would say this was probably was a legitimate injury or some kind of a legitimate unscripted moment with him getting hit right into Rita the ring post so brutally. But at the end of the day, all these in-ring competitors are talented professionals, and they're gonna do their jobs and make sure, even though they hate them on screen, but they gotta be safe and try to be professional. Whether if they love them or not, they have to be professional and make sure they're 100% okay and not legitimately injured and having their health at risk. I would say not health. I would say health. I would say their bodies at risk, I should say. This is where after he does all those moves, this is where Christian Cage pins Darby Allin for a 1-2 once again, except it was him. This is where he tags in Luchasaurus. This is where he had him in a Russian leg sweep position, but he was holding him for Luchasaurus to hit him in the midsection, looking like some kind of a tough guy from the IRS, like a bodyguard tough guy, like from a bill collector, I should say, from a bill collector that brought in a guy like bodyguard to hire to beat up another guy that didn't pay his taxes, like boom, like. And that will hurt like hell, yeah, basically. And then this is where Luchasaurus grabs Darby Allin by the neck. This is where Darby Allin started pulling back and countering, started pulling him back. And then this is where he smacks his arm and hit him with a right hook uppercut, I should say. This is where it had Darby Allin onto his knees. This is where Luchasaurus tried to go for a choke slam, but Darby Allin flips out into a backflip. This is where Christian Cage counters Darby Allin's, or not counter, I should say intercepts, I should say, and hit him with a back hot shot head drag right back first, right to the ropes, slingshotting on the ropes. This is what helped Luchasaurus get back into the game and choke slams him and then went for a pin, but what the referee got for a 1, referee went 1, but Sting was there. Luckily, Sting. If it was 2-on-1, Darby Allin wouldn't stand a chance. Sting steps him right into right onto his back. This is where Luchasaurus got back up. This is where he tags in Christian Cage. This is where Christian Cage went up right onto the top rope. It's where it looks like it was hitting the signature. But I think, and this is where he tried to go for a frog splash, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, I think it was a diving. No, it was a diving head. But Darby Allin moved out of the way. He landed head first. I was like Christian probably must be so confused. He probably thinks Sting is Luchasaurus because they were in a different side. Looked like they're about to tag in their respective partners, but Darby Allin's team with Sting and Christian Cage's team with Luchasaurus. So they started going back where they were, where they would go respectively. This is where Christian was worrying about him, Darby Allin tagging in Sting because it'll be lights out for both men because Sting will not stop until the match is over. Because that's exactly what Sting did, even though he got slower when he got into the ring, but he managed to start fighting both TNT champions. He started hitting close on to Christian Cage, and then he hit him with another one. This is where he Irish whip him right into the other side of the ropes. This is where he bow his head, try to go for some kind of a flipping, tossing move. This is where Christian Cage knew this was the very oldest trick. This was the very oldest trick in the wrestling book. So he kicks him right into the head. But Sting didn't mind, got phased not even one bit because he started like, but he can't feel no pain. He started beating his chest. This is where Christian Cage tried to run up towards Sting. He hits him with a stand-up spine buster. This is where Luchasaurus came in. This is where he started hitting right hands onto the demon-based dinosaur, I should say. Like for him being a heel, of course, not really like a devil worshiper like my father thinks. That's a story for another day. Hopefully, this is not embarrassing my father, nothing disrespecting my father, but. He just takes this some kind of dark wrestling personas way too seriously. I would say my mom does the same, but not as much as, but I'm not going to talk much about it. But they do the same, but not as much as my father. Like, she understands some of it. Like, but her thing is, she was like, I understand why would you have such a persona like that? That's her curious take on that. And I have the similar take on it. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But yeah, this is where Sting started hitting right hand, started hitting him with right hand. This is where he started hitting him with, and this is where Christian Cage tried to attack and try to do some kind of a front forward crossbody right into Sting. But Sting moved out of the way and he hits his own dude. I was like, this is probably going to trigger Luchasaurus for their three-way match at tomorrow night's Collision. It looks like Luchasaurus going to remember that and he's going to turn on him. This is probably one of the reasons why. But it'll probably be where Christian Cage accidentally hitting him in the match like later on, or even Christian slapping him or shoving him for not doing what he wants, and then that's when we probably do a tease like that Luchasaurus is going to turn on him and possibly win the TNT championship, or leave and let Darby Allin beat him for the championship, or whatever. Like. But either way, he's going to plant those seeds like Simon Miller was talking about on his Ups and Downs Grand Slam episode of the Ups and Downs, like of the AEW Grand Slam Dynamite Ups and Downs that he was doing yesterday. But yeah, like he said, it's planting those seeds that we could possibly see some kind of a turning point for both men. But this is where Sting hits a double splash right onto both Christian Cage and Luchasaurus with Christian Cage stacked right on to Luchasaurus. This is where Sting hits Scorpion Death Drop, but this is where Luchasaurus had to close on, but he was too late because by the time he could even do it, Sting already been and hit the Scorpion Death Drop. This is where Sting started. He hit him to turn him around to do a Scorpion Death Drop. He tags in Darby Allin, and they did some kind of a Scorpion Death Drop, Coffin Drop combo, double team move for the 1, 2, 3. Like he hit him with the Scorpion Death Drop, with Darby Allin catches them in a coffin drop as well, doing a double impact right onto the demon heel reformed Luchasaurus, and they got the 1, 2, 3, and I should have called him the right hand man of destruction, of course, because that's what's his name calls him. But what you thought about this match overall, and what you think about tomorrow night, which I'm going to recap that tomorrow night on episode 45 of 45, I should say. Sound like SpongeBob when we said 25. The 45 edition of AEW Collision Review 45 episode of the AEW Collision Review Part 6. But anyways, yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to QTV segment with Johnny TV. Let's see right here. This is where we have the next match, which was Hook and Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy taking on the former JAS members, Anna Jay, Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard. But anyways, let's begin. Because Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy reunite as best friends, and they start the match with Hook and Daddy Magic Matt Menard. And this is when Daddy Magic hilariously said, "I don't think so," and he tags in Cool Hand Angelo Parker. This is where he's actually start off with Angelo Parker, when Hook hitting arm drag slams right onto both men, and then this is where he hits and then this is where the Hook try to hit the rim one, which is like the transmission right onto the Daddy Magic Matt Menard, and try to end it right there. But I'm not sure if Matt Menard was a legal man. I believe he probably was. But this is where he tags in Anna Jay, which he has to. All the men have to get out because this is the women's time to be the legal women into the match, into the the 6-person mixed tag match. And this is where when the referee's like, all right, Hook, try tagging Chris. And then this is where what's her name? Anna Jay does the shoeing hand movement right on over to Chris Statlander. This is where Chris Statlander's like, okay, let me tag in so I can teach this BITCH something. Teach this BITCH something about respect. And then this is where Chris Statlander came out and they got going in around the circle. This is where Anna Jay Irish whips Chris Statlander right into the corner of the top right corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where she hits the spinning kick right onto the midsection of the TBS champion. This is where she twisted her arm. This is where she tried to go for a back kick again. It's up in the middle of the ring. This is where Chris Statlander grabs onto her leg. This is where she's been her around. She try to go for a suplex, but she was having trouble doing it because it looked like Anna Jay was trying to counter it. But she managed to get the strength to get her up there into the position of the suplex. Let's see right here. It was like halfway, but she managed to do a standing suplex for 10 seconds, and she went right in the back and slammed her right into the canvas. This is where she kips up. This is where she shows off her strength. This is where Matt Menard distracted. This is where Matt Menard distracted the referee for Jake Hager to take advantage of it and tackled and attacked Orange Cassidy right on the other side. This is where Hook started chasing Jake Hager. This is where Hook and Chris Statlander chase off Jake Hager. This is where Anna Jay super kicks. This is where this distracted both Chris and Hook for into the match. This is where Anna Jay super kicks Chris Statlander. This is where Matt Menard attacks and clotheslines. Matt Menard clotheslines Hook and get him off focus. And then this is where he throws Hook right into Barry Barricade, which has been past over 100, obviously. I believe Simon did a funeral for Barry Barricade. I never had a chance to watch the funeral. I don't know. I don't think he have, but y'all let me know down in the comments. But this is where Cool Hand Angelo Parker suplexed him and got into a pinning position. Only got him to 2.1 count. This is where he started hitting them with right hands right into the Handsome Devil. This is where he hits him with a back suplex. This is where he started dusting him and kicking him off. This is where he tags in Daddy Magic. This is where they try to go for. This is where he got him in the sidewalk backbreaker position for Cool Hand Angelo Parker. The knee strike him with a running knee strike right into the head. He slid and ran right into Hook's head with his knee on. This is where Matt Menard got him in the pinfall, like with Hook down with the 1 and the 2. This is where Hook kicks out. This is where Chris Statlander started clapping. And this is when Angelo Dawkins, I'm not Angelo Dawkins, I'm thinking of Angelo Parker is Angelo Dawkins, my bad. Matt Menard screaming at Hook, saying something probably by the lines of he's not gonna beat him. Like he's not gonna beat them, and he's gonna suffer a second loss. I believe that's what he was describing. This is where Hook started throwing punches and kicks. This is where Matt Menard Irish whipped him right into the corner and had him sliding and slamming right to Barry Barricade. This is where Matt Menard was like, yeah. And this is where he starts stomping on him. He elbowed Orange Cassidy right into the corner. Here's where he starts stomping on the Hook, of course. And this is where Irish whipped him right to the corner with Anna Jay and Angelo Parker. Yeah, Angelo Parker. This is where he tags in and they start doing like what Christian Cage and Luchasaurus was doing earlier, and that was attacking and brutally beating Hook. And then this is when. And they were doing this for quite a bit, for a minute, until Hook got back on the game. Until Hook managed to get out of the situation. This is where Orange Cassidy got in the ring, started hitting his comeback moves, and then he put his hands in his pockets, like if he was legitimately an Orange that always have his hands in his pockets. And then this is where he hits him with his move, like Hurricane Rana's drop kicks and, every move that he can do without his hands. But anyways, this is where he took off his elbow pad off. This is where he was getting ready to hit the orange punch. But he ducks. But Angelo Parker ducked, turns him around, and then he threw him towards Matt Menard, which Matt Menard trips him over. And this is where they did that double team move. I believe that's probably their finishing move, which is the least most devastating tag team finishing move in all sports entertainment. With Matt Menard tripping him over face first right into the canvas, and this is where Angelo Dawkins step and walks on the Matt Menard with his knee, with him bending over, with him walking him like if he was some kind of a walking stool. To have him step on, to go up and hit him with an elbow drop right onto Orange Cassidy, but only got him a 1, 2. And you think it worked? No, you'll be spitting if you said yes. And no, it did not. By the way, and he got him the 2.999. I'll say not 999, more like 2.111 count. And this is where Orange Cassidy started rolling like some kind of a human carrot, of course, or some kind of a human egg roll, because he just rolled out of the ring. This is where Hook started hitting him with hitting both Matt Menard and Angelo Parker with hitting them with the exploder T-bone suplex. I was like, handsome devil, more like calling him the handsome Tasmanian devil. Look how fast he goes with these exploder suplex. And this is where Anna Jay come in the ring. This is when the referee started pushing, like, dang, like, you don't have to be so harsh on to Anna Jay. Even though she's trying to do some kind of slick, evil cheating tactic just to give her and her two men teammates the W. Like, you should have said, like, look, like, get out of the ring, like, you're not the legal woman, like, come on, go, like, hold her back and try to put her back into the apron. Like, don't try to harm her. Like, you're a referee. Like, you should be the least person to be harming anybody. But anyway, this is where Jake Hager came out of nowhere and clothesline Hook and try to give his 3 teammates the easy victory. And this is where Orange Cassidy had enough of his shenanigans. He hits him with the orange punch to the retired MMA fighter and former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This is where Orange Cassidy tried to go back, back up and see who's he dealing with, which was I believe Daddy Magic. And this is where Anna JAS came from behind, started choking him out, which I'm not sure why I call him or JAS. I guess for the fact that the fans and the wrestling internet guys, like including my homie Simon, put the AS mixed up with another AS word, but with another S. But that's a story for another day, which I believe all the wrestling marks in the IWC would agree that Anna J do not have nothing fat, especially somewhere in the back. This is where Anna J started going right onto Orange Cassidy's back. Speaking of backs, this is where she started having Orange Cassidy in a headlock, and then this is where I tried to distract him to give Daddy Magic Matt Menard the easy victory. Make it easier to get the victory, I should say. This is where Chris Statlander catches her right on the Orange Cassidy's back and put her on her shoulders, right on her head, and into an electric chair position. This is where Orange Cassidy got back in consciousness. This is where Matt Menard tried to close on him. He ducks. He pushed him towards Hook. This is where he has him into the Red Rock. That's what we call it, the Red Rock. This is where Orange Cassidy goes for an orange punch right into Angelo Parker. This is where Chris Statlander hits that electric chair face buster right into Anna J right on top of her head. But yeah, this is where Daddy Magic and Matt Menard was feigning onto Hook's red rock lock into his grasp. This is where Orange Punch catches Angelo Parker with an orange punch for the 1, 2, 3. And then your winners is Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, and handsome Tasmanian devil Hook. But yeah. And what do you thought about this 6-person tag match? Pretty interesting, huh? Y'all let me know down in the comments below what you do. And this is where we have the latest episode of QTV, which we have the annoying girl I can't sing that I can't think of right now. I need to search her name up so I can remember, point out her name. This is where, or naming her name. This is where, and Aaron Solo, yeah. And then they're trying to come up with an idea. They were so bored out of their head. And then this is where he asked this heavyset assistant man that reminded me of a short version of Hank Walker. This is where John Morrison jumps up out of nowhere under the back. I would say onto this back cubicle. Yeah, under the small cubicle. This is where he's like, me, Johnny TV, like, and I just have an idea. And I did have a great time in Montreal. And this is where the annoying girl that cannot sing said, yeah, we had a splendidly great time. This is where she put her hair back. And then this is where he was like, I did QT Marshall did great. Like, yeah, like, and this is where Arizona's like, yeah, I guess you could say that. And this is where John Morrison's like, let's roll the footage. And then this is where the annoying girl said, yeah, this is a bit awkward, but when I do it, yeah, it's better when I do it. She's like, roll the footage. And then that's when they rolled the footage of QT Marshall beating every single guy by being the American Latin, the Latin American Championship on AAA. And it's like John Morrison's like, yeah, woohoo. Like, he just laid his, he said, like, yeah, he just powerbomb his ass like a crazy turkey. Like, and he's like, yeah, like, my man is doing great into this Mexican promotion. That's what he said. He powdered his ass like a crazy turkey. That's what. And this is when QT Marshall's like, nice. And this is when John Morrison commented back like, you look nice yourself. Into not QT Marshall, Aaron Solo's shades, yeah. And he's like, hell yeah. And they start the handshakes back and start doing the fingers up. He's like, and he was like, and then this is when John Morrison got a message notification from QT Marshall that he's gonna need a tag team partner, and he's like, as someone with fresh breath, long hair, and then that's when Aaron Solo did the throat spray to have some fresh breath, and then he started checking his hair out, which he had some nice hair. Even my mom compliments that he's a half decent guy like himself, like. And she even crowned and made a joke about why was he dating Bailey? Like when I told her that he used to date Bailey, she made a funny jokes like, really, like, because she's obviously a heel and most fans hate Bailey and because of it, and she knows this, like, just like me, because she understands what goes on in the wrestling business. She was like, you dating that, like. I see why he broke up with Bailey. Like, I'm done. which was obviously a joke, like nothing serious about. Like, it was just all part of a joke. Like, I'm not sure if I should have said that, but I need the enough to talk about me and my family's business. Like, it was just not just a joke. Like, like nothing serious. But anyways, this is where back to the story with John Morrison. This was up a long time. He knows somebody from a long time that he trusts, that knows that he can trust for a long someone that he knows for a long time that he can trust, and that's when Aaron Solo's like pointing up in hands up. He's like, me. I was like, yeah, that may be true because he's been teaming with QT Marshall for the past few years, so it should be him. And then that's when John Morrison was like, that's me. And then John Morrison's like, no. That's obviously me, you silly. Like, that's when we started laughing. Like, a good one, like, Aaron. Like, yeah. Like, and he's like, I gotta get ready. Like, I see you guys next week. And I was like, like, it is very interesting to have. And that would make his reign is what's called is Latino American Championship or Latin. I should say Latin American Championship, make it more relevantly interesting. Relevantly interesting, if relevantly is a word. But anyway, like, make it more relevant. My point is relevant and interesting for for QT Marshall's reign in his working duties in AAA, since he's their mid card Latin American Championship, and that's when Aaron Solo got his finger up in the air, like and he put it down with the punctioning sounds, and then this is where we finally get a segment with Don Callis. Sadly, sadly and unfortunately introduced the most hated man in all elite wrestling, Don Callis. And then this is when everybody started booing and they started playing this music like if it was some kind of a heat noise, like when you have like in your thermostat, like when you turn on the heat in your thermostat in your furnace, that's what it is. Like if you were like a furnace noise, like if you have some heat going on, they're like that, in some kind of a horror music that doesn't even sound like music, rather than some kind of a obnoxious, annoying sound once you hear too much. Like, yeah, I was like, if I was there live, I would be booing the hell out of him too, because of that song, that theme song, because it don't even sound like a theme song. It's just some kind of a furnace sound. Like, yeah, like get that furnace. And then even get the most hated man, the most hated man in all of wrestling. Like, even my mom hates him, and she even calls him the Jeffrey Dahmer of professional wrestling. I'm like, damn. Did she really call him that? Like, but anyway, this is where I was like, this is where Don Callis got on the microphone. This is where he says, let's see right here. And then this is where Tony Schiavone acknowledged the fact and told Don Callis heads up that the fans really hate you, and then it's a hate this man. Well, any hesitations, like he says it with a lot of guts and a lot of nuts for saying that, which a lot of fans would probably agree with the 30-year commentating veteran, which is Tony Schiavone. Yeah, like everybody would acknowledge the fact that, yeah, everybody he acknowledged that, and he let Don Callis know straight up, like, well, any hesitations, which every wrestling fan would probably praise Tony Schiavone for his courage of honestly telling Don Callis straight into his face. But yeah. And this is when Don Callis was like, I just want to say one thing. And that's when the fans started booing, like, boo, like more louder than they would ever do with the likes of Dominic Mysterio and Jimmy Uso, for an example. Like they're booing almost just as loud as Dominic, though, yeah. And then they were telling him, like, you suck. And this is like 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, like that was a buzz. He's like, a few weeks ago, that's what he said, like a few weeks, and the fans are doing crowd like, suck, you suck. He's like, a few weeks ago, the wrestling world was a buzz, like all over all across the web, like it was the buzz. He said the wrestling world was a buzz, and then at my so-called pursuit of Chris Jericho, and then end up with Jericho. Like, I ended up with the man I really wanted, the newest member of the Don Callis family, Sammy Guevara. That's when Sammy Guevara came out. This is where and he started telling his reasonings why he And this is where he's telling the reason. And then I even saw this on a post from someone from YouTube that was live in attendance, and they show what Sammy Guevara said, like from the post or like the pre-show, like from the same like a couple hours after Dynamite was off the air, like when we posted on YouTube about Sammy Guevara gave some reasoning why Jericho said. So reason why he turned his back on Jericho this past 2 days ago at AEW Dynamite, and then I bet y'all asking like why you're even recapping this if you knew if you saw what Sammy Guevara seen what Sammy Guevara it showed like Sammy Guevara showed showed Sammy Guevara telling the fans the reason why, but first of all, I didn't actually see the video. I saw the post. Second of all, is because I'm doing this whole entire video and I don't know any more other than that. Like I don't know anything what happened during Rampage tonight, like because I wasn't there live in attendance. So if I was there live in attendance, I would have skipped Rampage and then probably get ready to do AEW Collision. But anyway, this is where I could do a live outside, do the SNA podcast there right outside, like what Simon would do on his ups and downs, like when he was live in attendance on shows. But anyway, this is where we got Sammy Guevara. This is where Sammy Guevara was like, Don, like over all these people, I used to hate you a lot. And I was like, I believe even as I now, I will. He's like, yeah, believe it or not, I hated you like the first time I seen you. Right, and I did it for a long time. I hated it almost as much as the fans hate you. And also, let's see. And he embraced with Don Callis of joining the family. This is where Sammy Guevara was like, yeah. Last year, I was F you, Sammy. Earlier this year, I was let's go, Sammy. Like, I'm done with all the bullshit, and then I don't need you, and I don't need you. Well, he didn't say the bullshit, but I was like, that's what he was like, what he was thinking of saying. Like, he was like, I don't need none of that. Like, I don't need you, none of you. Like, I'm done trying to earn y'all honor and respect. I have a hot wife at home. I was like, you don't have to brag about that. Like, I have a hot wife at home. Like, yeah, that really, it's already bad enough y'all are bragging when y'all were on screen when you were TNT champion and when y'all were the mixed tag team champion from AAA. Like, about y'all are celebrating with those championships. And like Simon says, who wants to see a seaman on the championship? Like, you should keep your pleasure and your business separate. That's why they say don't mix business with pleasure. Unless the pleasure is business, but that's a story for another day. But anyway, this is where he said, and my baby girl too. Like I was getting a big fat paycheck, and everything else is what makes me happy. And what matters that being in it. And he's like, and me and Jericho had as a team is dead to me now, and I do not want to see him again. And then that's when Jericho came out. This is where he runs in trying to fight off as much. And then at first he was successfully doing so. He was beating both. First it was Konosuke Takeshita. He fought him off. This is where he thrown Sammy Guevara out of the ring. This is where he started continuing fighting back and forth with Konosuke. This is where Don Cal started hitting him from behind. This is where Jericho grabs him and pushes him against the turnbuckles. This is where he knew he started hitting them, beating them to death. This is where Sammy Guevara and Konosuke Takeshita came back and started jumping him, and they outnumbered him. And this is where they hold him down. Where Don Cal started hitting the most worst fake punches I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Like, I bet even Paul Heyman could hit harder than Don could ever will. This is where he tried to hit him and try to do the same thing what he did to Kenny Omega when he very first betrayed him when when he was facing John Moxley into that steel cage match. But yeah, he tried to duck his head and jab his head with the exact same screwdriver he Judasly turned on Kenny Omega with. This is where speaking of Kenny Omega, this is where we see the long-awaited return of the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega. And yes, it was right. He made his return out of any show. It was Rampage, even though this was the special 2-hour Grand Slam special edition of the Rampage episode. This is where Kenny Omega ran out of there. I was like, this little Kenny Omega, and he ran him out of there, and he was like, what? Come here, come out here. And then this is where, come back here if y'all all that, and y'all think y'all could get the better of us and think y'all could bring us down. Like, come on. And then this is where Jericho purposely, and this was, I mean purposely, because it looked like he knew that Kenny Omega, which I believe he did, because they probably rehearsed this, like with Kenny Omega making his return. Like, he bumped him right into the back. They went and started getting ready for their fist and get ready to fight, but they were like, you know what, like, let's leave our differences behind and agree on one thing and join forces into taking out Don Callis and his family, his new family with Konosuke Takeshita and and Sammy Guevara. But anyways, what y'all thought about the segment? And then I kind of knew it. Like, I knew that Kenny Omega and Jericho was going to join forces and take out Don Callis'. And they're going to get ready to take out Don Callis' family in the next upcoming event, which I would say it should be at Wrestle Dreams, in my opinion. Even though it should be more crossovers with New Japan rather than being like if it's an NEO AEW exclusive pay-per-view. But this is probably perfect. It wouldn't be any perfect unless it was at a bigger event like an All In, like if that was upcoming. But this is the best way to do it, like, because this is another big wrestling event, even though it's like supposed to be crossover to dedicate the New Japan wrestling legend and one of Tony Khan's wrestling idols. But yeah, one of Tony Khan's wrestling idols, and then that's the purpose of doing this Wrestling Dream pay-per-view event. But we're gonna see more about it in the upcoming weeks about this programming with this temporarily alliance with the Ocho Le Champion Chris Jericho and the God of Pro Wrestling cleaner Kenny Omega. But anyways, this is where we got a backstage promo with the Ocho and the God of Pro Wrestling, with them sending a message to Don Callis and his family in this backstage interview with. Let's see right here. Okay, there it is. And this is where we have Kenny Omega, like in an interview, like with the backstage interview, with Kenny Omega asking questions that asking in a shocking state, saying like you and Chris Jericho in the same ring, joining forces and facing. You think I can't say Chris Jericho if he was my friend, like, or you think I went there because I care about safety and his well-being? This is between me and Don Callis, like, and me with him, what he did to me, and what he did to me, and what he turned on me, and then what they been doing with me. You did Chris Jericho. And you think what about me and taking care of Don? And this is where Jericho came in and was like, look, like we know we may not be friends and we don't have to be, but how about we agree on one thing about this? Like, and let me say to you this one, and that's what Mr. was like, I appreciate you coming out to save me, but I know the reason why is because you're about to say, and it's not because we're friends or it's going to be based on our rivalry. And I was like, I agree, because that's how AEW started in the first place, because y'all were in the finals. Because it all started with y'all being in the finals, like in the AEW in the finals in the tournament, who's going to become the AEW inaugural AEW World Champion, which Jericho won, and he faced Hangman Adam Page, which he won the Casino Battle Royal. But anyways, this is, and then also they had a best match at the Tokyo Dome at New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 12, I believe. But yeah, anyways, news like something that Don Callis united to take him out. Like something that Don Callis would never imagine. Imagine put together at the Tokyo Dome, and that was his words. Now it's coming true. And as far as Sammy Guevara goes, you are a true Judas, Sammy. And I was like, I agree. Like as much as Don Callis was a true Judas on Kenny Omega, he was also like the Spanish God as much as a Judas is Don Callis is. And that is for the reals, at least in this kayfabe perspective, of course. But anyways, this is what Jericho's like. This is what I think. How about Jericho and Omega go unite and take out the Don Callis once and for all at Wrestle Dream? I was like, yes, please do. Even though these wrestlers are AEW wrestlers. But this is telling a story, and this is too big to be in any weekly televised show, even if it was like a Grand Slam or a Fighter Fest kind of event. And then this is when Kenny Omega went on the microphone on the interview. He was like, you betrayed your best friend. You threatened the ones that I love, like, which is Kota Ibushi, like a longtime friend since my New Japan days. And that scar on your head, that chip on me, the time I told you, I'm gonna look like Freddy Krueger at Wrestle Dreams. That's what he said. I'm gonna look like when we get through with you, I'm gonna be looking like Freddy Krueger at Wrestle Dreams. And he also said at October 1st, it's gonna be more like a wrestling. Like at Wrestle Dreams at October 1st, it's gonna be more looking like a Wrestle Nightmare. And this is where Jericho was like, it'll be Jericho and Omega, Ibushi. Who you got? Like, accept the challenge. I was like, yes. Like, I was like, adding Kota Ibushi, it'll be Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega's Japanese best friend Kota Ibushi taking on the Don Callis family with Sammy Guevara and Konosuke Takeshita in their tag team of their choosing. And it's like, yeah, I take it. Like, we'll be waiting, and we'll be laying some fists. And this is where we have this 6-man tag match, which was with the Hardy Boys. And not to bore you and take so long, we're gonna get to the point to this fatal 4-way match. This is kind of reminding me like a first main event, and then the second main event will be who was the fight? It was somebody. It was it was a 6-man tag match with the Mobile Embassy against the Elites, Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that later on, and there's gonna be so much to talk about for that. But for now. But we're gonna finish off with the Hardy Boys taking on the Righteousness in this fatal 4-way match with them two against the Kingdom and Best Friends. This is where Jeff Hardy got Vincent. He got him in a gut buster and then lifted him up into a leg drop right into the midsection, and then right into a running drop kick with Matt Hardy on the top rope. And then this is where Jeff Hardy runs with a running elbow drop right into Vincent. This is where he tried to go for a pin. This is where Dutch hits. This is where Dutch stops the count with a 1 count. This is where he got Jeff Hardy. This is where he tried to do some kind of a slamming maneuver onto the charismatic Enigma. This is where Jeff Hardy counters, try to go for a twist of fate. This is where he counters his maneuver. This is where he shoves him right to the corner. This is where he hits him with a spinning side slam, like boom. I was like, damn, like I feel bad for poor Jeff Hardy for taking such a devastating bump like that. And then this is when Matt Taven came in, hits him with a step-up Instagiri, and then he tried to go for a clothesline to Vincent, but Vincent counters, not even counter, intercepts he ducks right to the rope. The counters his clothesline, though. He runs it and intercepts into a flying head scissors. This is where Vincent got Matt Hardy. He throws him right into Dutch, and Dutch hit him with a spinning side slam to him. This is where Chuck Taylor tags himself into Jeff Hardy. This is where Trent Beretta go from behind and hits him with some kind of a boot strike, looking like a Claymore kick. This is where either Trent Beretta or not. No, it wasn't a knee strike. It was a knee strike. This is where Dutch tried to go for a clothesline to Beretta. Beretta ducked. He tried to go for a side slam to him, but Trent Beretta counters. He got from behind. He pushes him right into Chuck Taylor right into the mid rope. He knee striked him right off the mid rope, and then this is where Trent Beretta hits him with a German suplex, and then this is where Matt Taven came back in the ring, hit him with a pump boot. This is where Chuck Taylor waited for him. And he was like, Adam Cole, you dumbass. And then that's when he turned around and he super kicked Chuck Taylor. I think this was like the number one goofiest wrestling of the night with him saying that line of mocking Adam Cole, his former Kingdom teammate. This is where Chuck Taylor super kicks him. This is where he twists him on the arm. This is where he tried to have his foot right onto his face and try to slam him. Like something like a Gail Kim and Michin Mia Yim move, like where he goes lay back and hit him stomp right into his face upward, though. This is where what's his name? Mike Bennett came back in the ring. He put his leg down, nearly smashed it in half. This is where he hits him with a. This is where he had him like put him in the stop sign, like what's his name? Tyler Bate from NXT, but instead of hitting him with his other hand, like hit him with his other fist, he had that same have a stop sign arm right in the air, and he went for a low blow, and like, I bet Chuck Taylor definitely gonna feel that in next Friday's Rampage, until next Friday's Rampage. Let me rephrase that. This is where Matt Taven got Chuck Taylor into a power drive position with Matt Taven on the top rope, right on top, put his helmet with a Hail Mary with his legs, like make sure it goes right down, his head goes right into the pile driver. This is where he goes for a pin. Go for a referee went 1, the referee went 2, but Trent Beretta was there waiting for him to stop the count. This is where Jeff Hardy tags himself right onto what's his name? To Matt Taven. That's what it was. Matt Taven. Jeff Hardy tags himself right onto Matt Taven. This is where Matt Taven was kind of frustrated for Jeff Hardy to do so, but Jeff Hardy got in the ring. He tried to twist the fake Chuck Taylor, which he successfully did so. This is where Jeff Hardy takes off his shirt and he tried to go off the top rope for his finishing move, which is the Swanton Bomb. This is where he tried to go up, but this is where something shocking happened when Vincent tagging himself in the match. I was like, where did he came from? This is where he hits him with a Swanton Bomb. This is where Dutch comes in the ring, grabs him out of the ring. This is where Dutch comes. I mean, this is where not Dutch. This is where This is where Vincent comes off the top rope and he takes a page out of Jeff Hardy's playbook. He hits him with the Swanton bomb. Like no, this can't be it. Like, I think the Kingdom's going to come in there. And then this is where the Righteous took advantage. Then they got the 1, 2, 3. I was like, are you serious? Like, they literally just got the win. Like, how? Like, I would expect the Kingdom stop them and then they take advantage, hit their tag team finisher and go for them. But I guess I was wrong. Like, I expected the Kingdom so they could continue their feud for over the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. But I believe they're probably going to get an opportunity for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. It's probably going to be after Wrestle Kingdom because we got some new tag team number one contenders for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships against Adam Cole and MJF. The I'm Better Than You, Baby, a.k.a. And yeah, this is very shocking. I think they're trying to do this so they can be recognized as the most the most popular heel tag team in the All Elite brand, and even also for Ring of Honor too. Maybe this feud's probably too big to be for. This feud's probably too big for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions with the Kingdom, and Roderick Strong gets I'm Better Than You, Baby. So it could be some kind of shocking shenanigans, like with the Righteous facing Adam Cole and MJF with the Kingdom just interfering in their match and then basically screwing them out of being Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. But we're gonna see more about that in the next upcoming weeks when what's gonna be built towards, and also planting those seeds on what's going to happen for the next month or two with Wrestle Kingdom and the next upcoming Dynamites and Rampages and Collisions and even Full Gear too, which I believe MJF's gonna hold that title until then. Will be a full year for the next couple of months when his contract expires and see where he's going to go next. But yeah, but that's for in the future. But back into this side of things, like with the Righteous surprisingly getting the victory. I'm like, how did they literally do that? Like, but yeah, y'all let me know what you think about this latest win from the Righteous down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next next segment. We have which was and then this is when the Kingdom started being somewhat sore losers because they started attacking Best Friends and the Hardy Brothers. I was like, really? Like, well, if you were supposed to be y'all, like, where were y'all at? Like, y'all had the opportunity. Like, y'all had so much opportunity to stop the Righteous from winning the match. Like, y'all just let them take advantage of the match, like in kayfabe, of course. Yeah, like, so what y'all blaming them for? Like, they had anything to do with it. And they walked out of there. But yeah, this is where we go to we have the Dark Order taking on the Acclaim. This is where Acclaim started roasting. This is where they started roasting the Dark Order, even by saying, like, there used to be plenty of you, but there are only just the three of you, and y'all are the worst members of the group. And he said, we're going to have you lay down, just like Aaron Rodgers on the Monday Night Football game, like, which that's not what he said, but he said that on the lines, like, onto his freestyle. And then that's when we finally have this six-man tag match. But before I get to six-man tag match, this is where we had a backstage promo vignette with Mike Santana. We had action with them later on on the show, which we're going to talk about that as soon as we're done talking about the Sky Blue match and the Acclaim match, like the Acclaim versus Dark Order match and Sky Blue versus Julia Hart match. Make sure y'all watching to the end for that as well. But we got the Acclaim in a match where here's where we start off with Max Caster fighting off with Alex Reynolds. This is where Alex Reynolds tried to counter from Max Caster's headlocks. This is where Max Caster countered right back and headlock right back on the Dark Order member. This is where Reynolds pushed him right to the rope and throw him right into the other side of the bottom corner ropes. This is where Max Caster hits him with a running amateur shoulder tackle. This is where, I won't say amateur, I'll say more like grappling tackle, I should say. This is where Alex Reynolds go for a duck and a leapfrog when Max Caster was running onto the ropes. This is where he hits him with the most deadliest and the most loudest chops that I have ever heard in all of professional wrestling. Even over Gunther, that'll probably make him envious onto Max Caster for having the most devastating and loudest chops in all of professional wrestling. I'll say Gunther and Ric Flair very envious onto the 1/3 of the AEW Trios champions. And then this is where Max Caster hits him with an arm drag. This is where he started bending back Alex Reynolds' arm. This is where they push Max Caster right into the corner of the turnbuckle. This is where Alex Reynolds pushes him in the corner. This is where he tags in short, bald beard John Silver. This is where they hit a double team move. With them hitting with plenty punches. This is where Aubrey Edwards was saying, hey, like y'all have until 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is where Alex Reynolds finally went back in the ring. This is where John Silver flexes muscle. Like, this is what we've been. This is what we be talking about. Like, this is what we came. This is what we actually came for. Like, woo! And this is when the fans start booing. This is where Max Caster rams him and spears him right into the corner, into Tina the turnbuckle. And this side with the badass Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass, and Anthony Bowens. He tags in Bowens. Here's where Anthony Bowens come up with a move. This is where he shoves Anthony. This is where Anthony Bowens started throwing right hands right into John Silver's head. He started doing it like for over 50,000 times. This is where. And then at the one last punch, this is where he started doing it like if it's his version of the Rock spit to the hand, like when he started doing the scissoring hand movement, and he started boom hit him with an iron right, like what the Rock would have done with did that spinning angle and then hit him with the right strike, like this is where he tags in Daddy Ass himself, Billy Gunn. And they did the scissoring. This is where they did a double elbow drop right onto John Silver. This is where Billy Gunn hit him with a body slam. This is where he tags Max Caster in the match. This is where both him and Caster hold both sides, like where Billy Gunn has John Silver's left leg, and then Max Caster has John Silver's right leg, and that's when Anthony Bowens went right on the mid rope and get ready to do the scissor me timbers leg drop right onto John Silver's midsection, which that probably don't feel good either way. And he was like, and he started doing this like me time. This is where he tried to go for. But oh yeah, my bad. Like I said that. I mean he got Alex Reynolds grabbed him right off the mid rope. This is where Evil Uno came in and threw Max Caster. This is where the same with Alex Reynolds did with Anthony Bowens. This is where it was only, and then this is where what's his name? Evil Uno, yeah, Irish whips Billy Gunn right into the ring post. This is where John Silver hits a double Nelson suplex right onto Max Caster for only a two count, and then this is where the Dark Order started disrespecting and mocking the Acclaim for doing their scissoring maneuver hand movement thingamajig, like saying like scissor me, and I was like, really? Like, do you really have to do that right now? And then this is where what else that happens right here? they put Max Caster right in the corner, do like any old heels would do, like with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus and Angelo Parker and Matt Menard was doing earlier, like any heel tag team would do. They double team and start doing some sneaky, dirty shenanigans right onto Max Caster. And then this is where they tag John Silver back in. This is where he was like, and this is where he started mocking the fans, saying, "I'm freaking Jack, baby!" And this is where everybody was booing. They were taking it. And this is where Max Caster started hitting right hands, started coming back with his moves, and started hitting right hands. And then this is where he started doing boom, strikes. This is where John Silver ducks and tries to go for a German suplex. This is where he tags in Evil Uno. This is where he started going for stomps repeatedly. This is where he starts stomping a mud hole right into Max Caster's chest, unfortunately. Yeah. What? Are you serious?
I just warmed this up. Remember
And it just peeled it?
No, this is the way it was.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It just peeled right off.
Look at this pizza. This is after I warmed it up in the microwave.
Are you serious? Dang. I'll be darned.
It tastes awful. This pizza tastes gross.
Ew. I guess I'll have some anyway.
What do you have? You taste?
Okay, yes, ma'am. grab me out the other one with Grizz, Bob. But anyways, yeah. This is when Alex Reynolds Irish whip Max Caster right into the corner and start hitting him with stomps. And this is where he tags in Evil Uno. And then this one, Evil hits the most devastating, silent, deadly but silent chops in all of professional wrestling, like what very rare wrestlers would do. And this is where what's his name hit him with a flying elbow strikes. Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno, hits him with a running clothesline. This is where Uno goes back in the apron, and this is where Alex Reynolds goes over a pin, but only got a two even count. He's like, and then this is when Alex Reynolds started going off on the referee. I was like, why are you going off on her? Like, she's doing her job counting. Like, she's probably like the best referee. Aubrey Edwards, I'll say, like, and she can hear this from me. Like, she's the best referee I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Like, she does her job successfully great. Like, yeah, like she should be the last person you should be going off on. She should be the last referee, I should say, you should be going off on. But yeah, this is where Alex Reynolds started rubbing the Acclaim's faces with mocking Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens, with Max Caster saying like, this is your boy here, like, yeah, like, I'll do this right here, scissor. Scissor. And that's where he hits a right strike right into Anthony Bowens, and try to do the same with Billy Gunn. He's like, oh, like, no, you think you're gonna come out here and gonna beat me up? Like, come on, I'd like to see you do that. And this is where he was too distracted, to the point that he lost focus on Max Caster, because Max Caster picks him up, flips him over, but Alex Reynolds tried to go for sunset flip, but Max Caster didn't fall for the trap, so he put his legs down onto the Alex Reynolds' head. He grabs his legs, got to go for a pinfall roll-up victory with a 1-2, but before Aubrey can hit 3, this is where Reynolds kicks out at a 2 even count. This is where he finally tags in Billy Gunn, and Alex Reynolds was too late to do anything. And this is where Billy Gunn started to hit clotheslines and right hand, like, boom, boom, nailing, like. And this is where he throws Evil Uno right into the outside, and he throws John Silver on the ringside, like, throws him right, flying, crashing right into the concrete. This is where, And then this is where Billy Gunn's like, suck it. And then this is where he stomps him. And this is where he does the Grandmaster Scissoring suck it before he does the famous sir. And I believe Excalibur suck this. And this is where he tried to go for it. I think Excalibur spoke the famous sir way too soon because this is where Alex Reynolds countered. This is where he hits him with a right elbow strike. This was like, and this is when Alex Reynolds like, suck this, bitch. And then this is where he tried to go for a famous sir, but Billy Gunn intercepts with a clothesline, tags in Anthony Bowens. This is where Anthony tried to go for some kind of a move, but before you have a chance, this is where Alex Reynolds rolled him up in the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. But only got him a 2 count, but he tried to duck. I mean, not trying to duck. He tried to go for a clothesline, but Anthony ducks, rolls it up into a punch, a chopping punch, and a super kick. This is where he does the throat cutter right into the neck, to his own neck. This is where Anthony Bowens hits him with a side spinning power slam before soon after Max Caster hits him with a mic drop elbow drop right into the this is where he tried to go for a 1 and tried to go for a 2, but this is where the Dark Order took a page out of the Young Bucks playbook, this is where what's his name? John Silver, yeah. John Silver spears Anthony Bowen right into his own partner, Max Caster, at the last second. And this is where John Silver hits him with a pump kick right in the mid rope, right through the mid rope on Anthony Bowens. He fell out right out of the mid rope and out of the ring. This is where Aubrey Edwards was like, "You're not supposed to be in there. You're not the legal man. Time to get out before your 5 seconds are over." This is where Evil Uno sneakily got back in the ring in the match. This is where he got one of the Acclaim's trios championships, and he's whacks Max Caster right in the head with the championship, and then he thought this was going to give him the win, and have Alex Reynolds take advantage and try to pin, but the referee went 1, the referee went 2, and then as soon as if you're unaware about the Acclaim status in AEW, like of them being the greatest trios of men in AEW right now, you would probably think that would have been it, like with the Dark Order. With the Dark Order getting a sneaky victory, but as soon as Aubrey Edwards tried to go for a 3, this is where he kicks out 2.999. This is where John Silver tried to go for ask Alex Reynolds to tag him. This is where Billy Gunn came in and tackled and clotheslines Evil Uno. This is where John Silver goes for a rolling senton right onto Daddy Ass. This is where he goes to get into the ring. This is where he tried to go for a double team move with John Silver and Alex Reynolds try to go for a double team move to what's his name? Like gets a move with Max Caster, like hit him with like a forearm move in the corner, throws him to Alex Reynolds with a discus forearm. This is where John Silver goes for a step up Instagiri. This is where he tried to go for a stunner to Max Caster, but Max Caster intercepts with a famous sir. This is where Caster. This is where he told. This is where he tells what's his name Anthony Bowens to come over here, tags him in the match. And I believe that before that, Anthony Bowens tied him down and hit him cojones first, I believe, right into the ring post, I believe. is where they hit their double team finisher, which I believe is called. But either way, it's like the Magic Killer, but they flip them over into a suplex, into a double arrow, and then this is where Anthony Bowens pinned Reynolds for a 1-2-3 victory, and they steal the Trios Tag Team Champions. And it was too late for Evil Uno to do anything about it, by the way. But yeah, still your new AEW Trios Champions, The Acclaim. And that includes also with Daddy Ass too. But anyways, yeah. And how long do you think they're going to hold these Trios titles? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next. To the Sky Blue versus Julia Hart match. Which I'm going to start right here. With Sky Blue hitting a, let's see right here. Right after Sky Blue hits a knee strike, she hits a suplex, snapped a suplex, like just a basic suplex, which I would say it's the number one or number two least most devastating move in all sports entertainment. The suplex, more like calling it the Blue Thunderplex. And do you think it worked? Unfortunately, it did not. Even though the name sounds very rad as hell, but not as much as getting I don't say not even a near fall, like, but it's not as rad as getting it kicked out, like of having a blue named maneuver, I should say, blue named maneuver. I don't think that would be a great. Yeah, that wouldn't be. It won't be a great move to do, like. But this is where Sky Blue goes up right into the turnbuckle. Face buttons are hitting him face first in the turnbuckle. And by the way, if you thought that was like a blue pun, I guess you could say that. Like, I just said that because, yeah, blue is the coolest. It's just the coolest color next to red. As you can see me with my Ninja Turtle shirt, it has Raphael and Leonardo, like with them wearing the blue gear and the red gear. And it has upwards, it's red, and it's blue at the bottom, and it says Turtle 84 with the star, which is representing from the past 39 years. They've been a very successful teenage mutant superhero turtles that's been out for nearly 40 years. Like, and there's also part of 4th of July, which I got it at the day before the 4th of July at my local Walmart. Like, make sure y'all get those at y'all's local Walmarts as well. But anyways, this is where Sky Blue continuing trying to hit, attacking clotheslines or splash, but she tripped her over, hitting face first right into Tina the turnbuckle in the middle team. And that's when Julia Hart slams her back first right into the canvas. This is where she starts hitting right hands right into what's her name's head, Sky Blue. This is where hitting right hands. This is where she started doing everything to get beat Sky Blue. This is where Sky Blue comes back. She snap mirrors her right off the side ropes where she was hanging at. Try to hit her with a super kick, but this is where what's her name, Julia Hart, picks up, spins it around, and hits her with a sliding glass kick, like boom. Like, I was like, dang, like if I didn't know better, I would think that was at least her signature move. Like, but I don't think that's even her signature move. That's just the move that she usually does when she comes back. But anyways, this is where Sky Blue try to go for a 1-2, try to go for a 1 and a 2 pin, but they going kicked out of 2. This is where Sky Blue was very angry. She goes over the top rope. This is where Julia Hart catches her, stops her, starts hitting her right off the top rope. This is where This is where go for an axe handle. And then this the top rope. This is where Sky Blue tried to fight back, but she run out of too much energy and she was very tired. This is where she thought. This is where Julia Hart started hitting her with right hands, and then this is, let's see right here. This is where Sky Blue finally gained some energy because she started hitting her back with a few right hands. This is where she go right up to the top rope, but this was caught right in the top turnbuckle. This is where they gave Julia Hart enough time to intercept and go up to the top rope for a superplex. Or no, that Sky Blue, Julia Hart's leg and stuff. But this is where she tried to take advantage and try to go for some kind of a double stomp in a tree of woe position. But this is where Julia Hart catches her and suplexes her, even though here with a big superplex I haven't seen in weeks. But even though her leg was trapped right up to the top rope on the turnbuckle supporter thingamajig, this is where. And then this is where Julia Hart started going creepy, like trying to look. This is where she slowly got her legs off. Like this is more creepier than when Alexa Bliss was teaming with Bray Wyatt. Like when she was that I would say like the similar horror movie version of Harley Quinn version of Alexa Bliss. With her Lily doll, with her Lily doll, of course. This was very creepier than that. Like, and then this is where she going for the spider moonsault majig for a 1-2 like, which was a near fall. This is what made her scream, which I haven't seen Julia Hart screamed ever since she joined the House of Black. And this is where Brody King, and this is where even Excalibur pointed it out that Brody King was shouting at Julia Hart to finish Sky Blue. This is where she tried to do so. She was trying to go for the Heartless, but Sky Blue tried to go for a sneak pin, but she kicked out right after one. This is where she goes for a crucifix effects. The crucifix effects roll up, but that only got her a 2 count. This is where Sky Blue got her right to a full Nelson possession, but she counters it. She hits her with a forearm, hits Blue with a forearm. This is where Julia Hart hit her with a kick, with a knee right into the midsection. This is where she goes for a sliding bottom back lariat. Like that would have possibly knocked her out and probably got her the 3 count. But I think they probably wouldn't for it didn't look so that impactful, but it still looked like it would take somebody out of their misery in their comfort zone by hitting them out of nowhere with the unexpected clothesline. This is where she get ready to hit her finishing move, which is the Heartless. This is where she had it locked in, and then this is where she made Sky Blue tap. The referee didn't see it until he looked back and looked that Sky Blue started tapping onto Julia Hart's back. Like, and then she was keep doing it until the referee had to get her off her. And this is when she started continuously. This is where she started continuously attacking Sky Blue and try to finish her off and try to end her career, like, well, at least in kayfabe. But anyways, this is where we finally see a long awaited Willow Nightingale came back to AEW television and scared off the female House of Black member. Right, like from her keep attacking her with the heart. What's that called? With a submission move, yeah. And then this is where she ran out of the ring with Brody King, having her back. Like, and this is where Willow Nightingale was like, come out here. And then this is where she came out, picked up Willow Nightingale. Or not Willow Nightingale, picked up Sky Blue, I mean. But My bad. Let me keep continuing talk about what else happened on Rampage. But yeah, but they confirmed the match for tomorrow night, which will be Willow Nightingale taking on Julia Hart at AEW Collision tomorrow night. Make sure y'all check that out. And what y'all thought about this angle and the match in general, y'all let me know down in the comments. And then we're gonna recap everything on Collision tomorrow night on episode 45 on the SNA podcast. We're gonna go. This is where Jay White, the Switchblade, takes a shot at and then this one, Willow said, like, yeah, this is your true winner right here in my book. And then this is where we got a Bullet Club Gold with the Bullet Club Gold with Juice Robinson and Jay White and the Guns, with the Guns saying something about Andrade in Spanish, saying, this is where Colton Gunn said something about Andrade in Spanish. This is where what's his name? His brother Austin Gunn was like, no, you got it. When you say R, this is a really strong R like Andrade, and then he's like Andrade El Idolo. That's what the like, which even my own mama can do. And then this is where Juice Robinson like, yeah, he's. And then Andrade El Idolo. And then this is where the Guns like, ooh. And then this is where Juice Robinson like, and he's like, he's not familiar with you, like a world-class athlete like you, Andrade. Like, travel all around the world. And he was complimenting him. And he's like, I remember I met you and I fought you in 2015 in Japan. And also, and you remember that? And you know me now. Now you know me as Switchblade Jay White. The world knows Switchblade Jay White. Like, the world knows the Bang 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 Gang, the Bullet Club Gold, Chop Chop Gun Swinger, and then Andrade El Idolo. You want the world know your name as well. You want to know that actually you know your name in the same breath as mine. And lucky for you, like tomorrow at AEW Collision, Michigan, they will see Switchblade White and Andrade El Idolo. And a moment in the spotlight. And there were 2 words for you: Guns Alibra. And this is where what's his name, Juice Robinson, went overly enthusiastic, was saying Guns Alibra. I was like, okay, I know you're a hype man and all, but dang, like, you don't have to go too far about that catchphrase. Like, we all get it. Like, anyways, that's when even the Guns start staring. They're like, okay. And I'll say, yeah, everybody, like, yeah, not much of everybody knows about Andrade, but everybody does. There's some casual fans from WWE and AEW know who he is for having a very for having such resumes, like somewhat big resumes of wrestling for them, and in AAA as well. And he wrestled all across the world, so everybody's gonna know him, whoever's in the wrestling business or as a fan of the industry whatsoever. But anyways, this is where we got Santana, which now he's going by his full real name, Mike Santana. I was like, I did not know that Santana was his last name. Like, I know somewhat of his real name, but I didn't know it was either his first or last until I heard from a fellow wrestling YouTuber that said, like, that been confirmed on his social media pages that he's going to go by Mike Santana as he go forward with AEW. And that's when he was in action took on the Iron Savages as Bronson, which I'll say this was not much of a long match because he just absolutely murked him at the end. Like, I'll say, yeah, he brought in a couple of strikes and offense, Bronson did, but it wasn't enough to put away the long-awaited return of Santana, which I'll say Santana, I mean, he's been back since right before like the Dynamite before the Wembley Stadium show All In. And then it looks like It looks like he's gonna be around for now on. Like, yeah, be on here for AEW, whether it be on Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision. But yeah, this is where he start putting them on. This is where Bronson put Mike Santana right on the corner. But this is where Santana puts him in the corner and push his face. And this is where the referee's like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. This is what gave Bronson enough time. He hits him with a right hand. I was like, dang, like I didn't notice about Bronson. Like he reminds me of Tucker if he was a bit more taller and have a different facial expression, and if he had tattoos all around his arm and his right arm, yeah. And this is where he start hitting him with right hands, like, and he's been doing that repeatedly and hitting him in the face first on every single each turnbuckle, like especially on the left side, on the top and bottom corner. This is where he started hitting them with rights. This is when the referee's like, all right, that's enough. Like you, like here's, he's going. Basically, referee was doing like the 5 count warning. This is where he's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like all right, you're going about to get 5, and this is when Bronson's like, oh. Like, and then this is when Santana came in and started hitting him with right hand chops, with knife edge chops repeatedly. This is where it started continuing. This is where Bronson hits him with a midsection. This is where Santana hits him with a. This is where he hits him with a boot right into the face. This like some sort of haluva kick right into the ropes. This is where he tried to go for a German suplex. This is where Bronson counters. This is where he hits him with a back rolling cutter right out of nowhere with which that's what what's his name did Mike Santana did to Bronson. This is where Santana was getting ready to finish him off with his arm ready in position. This is where he hits him with an easy shot discus lariat. Like with, I believe everybody's been doing a bit too much with him and what's his name? It's with him. I believe Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander. Brian Cage, and even the Dark Order members, including what's his name, John Silver. I mean, they have every reason why they do that because their former leader used to do that, and that's paying tribute to him. But it looks like that enough about that and putting it on the pause, which they do have respect with the late great Brody Lee, but them being heels, they're gonna have to put that on the side and go back in their heel roots, like. And that's what, and go back what made them a successful faction in the first place, which I believe they're doing the right thing, but they're leaving Brody Lee out of it. Like they're like, yeah, we have respect, but that's a totally different ball game and a totally different story. Like that's out of character purposes, like of us acknowledging and paying tribute to our latest friend and our latest leader of our group. This is when Santana's like, yeah, everybody starts cheering, which he's starting to be a fan favorite, like a mid-card fan favorite, of course. And then I forget, I was like, yeah, he is from New York City. This is his hometown, like, because at AEW stayed since Dynamite from Grand Slam, and they're still stay there until they'll stay there until for tonight's Rampage. Well, it was pre-taped, but I think they're already in Michigan by now, in Grand Rapids, which RBD's going to make an appearance. And not only that, he's going to also be in a match. But we're going to get to that as soon as I'm getting done talking about this match right here with Mike Santana against Bronson. This is where Santana goes up, hits him with a flying and diving cannonball right into Bronson. This is where he hits him with the. He's like, finish him, and then this is where he said, finish him, like what Simon said, like that's like the usual catchphrase at the end of the at the end of the Mortal Kombat games, like, finish him. But anyways, this is where he hits him with a double underhook. This is where he hits him with a double underhook, and he flips him up, and he flips him right back into a DDT, which he got him with the 1, 2, 3. And then he celebrated a bit, and that's when what's his name came out. That's when Ortiz came out. I was like, yeah, like I guess this is true about wrestling news reports that Santana and Ortiz do not want to work with each other anymore, and especially with hearing from interviews and podcasts from Conan about they don't want to work with one another. Like, and this could be some kind of an issue with both men, but it looks like they're gonna put their differences into a feud of some sort. It looks like they're not in a physical into the physical altercation point, but it's still gonna be in some kind of a feud that's gonna settle their differences, like, and maybe even their real life differences, like, because they said this is legitimately the case, like they do not want to work with each other, but it looks like Tony Khan is going to do that, and Tony Khan's going to have them work. He's going to have them in the program to settle their differences, like wherever they have whatsoever, they're going to do it onto AEW on AEW television, like sell it out like men, like what they would do, like in order to solve their differences and their issues and their grievances, like. But yeah, what do y'all think about this future feud with the both former Proud and Powerful and LAX members? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next. But yeah, remember what I said about RVD going to be in a match? Well, it just so happens to be in a match. He's going to be in a tag team match. He's going to team with the current FTW champion, the handsome Tasmanian Devil, like what I like to call him, Hook. This is what I said, that against the Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker in a tag team match. Make sure y'all check that out for those who's watching. And then I'm going to recap it as soon as I get done watching it tomorrow night, which is possibly going to, when this video uploads, I'll probably say later on the night because it's past midnight where I'm at, but with me recording this video. But anyways, yeah, y'all let me know everything down about that, about the upcoming match. We also have the Workhorsemen taking on FTR tomorrow. We have Switchblade Jay White taking on Andrade. We got Willow Nightingale taking on Julia Hart. We got let's see. And we even got the TNT Triple Threat match with Darby Allin against Luchasaurus and Christian Cage for the AEW TNT Championship. But like what's his name would like to say, we have, like what Mark Henry would say, every Friday nights on Rampage in the main event, like what he would say, it's time for the main event of the night, of the Friday night episode of the 2-hour special. And it is the Mogul Embassy defending their trios championships against the Elites, Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks. And what you're gonna hear out of my mouth, which you probably wouldn't would have heard, it was actually pretty great. Like, it was, I would say, the greatest match of the night. If it was a candidate of naming the greatest match of this night of Rampage, this was pretty good. Like, I thought it was gonna be it's just gonna be some kind of a typical trios tag team championship match, and we're gonna probably see the Mogul Embassy retaining their championships. But what I was not expecting is the title change. And yes, sir, that was my spoiler. I should have saved at the end, but I'm gonna let's just say, if you want to hear what happens, y'all gonna have to listen to this episode. Have to listen to this match after this match recap I'm about to tell, and it all start when Hangman Adam Page and Brian Cage, with Brian Cage stomping like a mud hole. This is where the Young Bucks start fighting off with these Samoan brothers. I keep forgetting the name. One of them being something Khan, but I'm gonna remember it as soon as I look them up right in just a moment. But back to this recap. This is where the Young Bucks flips them out of there. This is where the Young Bucks do a crossbody splash right on them. This is where Bishop Khan, that's what his name is. That's the one, like the smaller Samoan bro. Like I'm not trying to call him Samoan bro because it almost sounds like a certain Samoan wrestler, and the bro part rhymes with their name. But anyways, this is where Hangman Adam Page boots Bishop Khan. This is where both Nick and Matt Jackson carried him like if he was a small baby. This is where Hangman Adam Page was getting ready to go for with them hanging on to him. This is where Hangman Adam Page insanely hits a shooting star press right on him, right off the hardest part of the ring apron, right onto the concrete floor. And this is when Excalibur was shouting so loud to the point that he was very to the point that this was very shocking for someone like Hangman would do. He literally did a shooting star press. But this is where I believe Nick Jackson was in the ring with what's his name, Brian Cage. This is where he slid out of the ring. He hit a backflip to Perpetual Motion. This is where he goes back in the ring, and then this is where he does a springboard Canadian Destroyer right into Brian Cage. I was like, wow, someone for Brian Cage's size, he just literally did an impressive. That was the most impressive Canadian Destroyer I ever seen in all of professional wrestling. This is where Nick. I mean, not Nick. This is where Matt Jackson got in with the tag. This is where he hits him with a perfectionate elbow drop right off the top rope. Looked like he was paying homage to his wrestling hero, which is the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Here's where go for the cover. This is where they got some triple offense, like a triple offensive triple team, which was the triple BND Elite strike right onto Brian Cage. Here's where, before they have a chance to do it to finish him off to become the new champions, this is where who came out? Guess who came out in whose house? That's right, Swerve Strickland in Swerve's house. This is where he distracted both the Elite members, including Hangman Adam Page, because they went an eye for an eye, with them not being on the same page because they just don't like each other, or at least in his programming it shows they don't like each other. This is where Hangman Adam Page, why the hell he's out here now? He couldn't pick any other perfect time to come out here. He just doing it. Do you want some of this? This is what distracting them too much, to the point that emotion and Khan came back in the ring. Bishop Khan and emotion came back in the ring. This is where he got ringing 2-on-1 disadvantagedly attacked the Young Bucks. This is where on one hand they hit what's his name? Let's see right here. But anyways, this is where they go for a double powerbomb, which I believe was on Matt Jackson. I feel bad for both these men. And I thought this was going to be it right here, and this was how Rampage is going to end. But no, when referee hit 1 and referee went 2, before the referee had a chance to hit 3, this is when Hangman Adam Page jumps over the top rope and lands and dives right onto Brian Cage for the save. I was like, how in the hell did Hangman Adam Page do? And then this is where we had Emotion stomping on Matt Jackson right onto the corner in the bottom left corner of the turnbuckle. Starts stepping on him to death, like boom, 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 boom. This is where it started kneeing him into the ribs and the side, and then right onto the ropes, bouncing on him. And then this is where Prince Nana's like, yeah, I go ahead and continue annihilating him. Do it. Like, keep on doing that Emotion or whatever his name is. Like, yeah, this is when both Bishop Khan and Emotion came, double team him, hitting him like heels would do, like into like in typical evil fashion. This is where Brian Cage went in and attacks Matt Jackson, I believe, and then this is where he hits a lariat right onto Nick Jackson, like made him fly right a half across the ramp. I was like, damn, like I know Brian Cage have so much power like that, like yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Jackson sustained some kind of injury after taking a bump like that. Like, dang, like I know it was all part of the. Like I know it's all part of this, part of the script and all, but dang, like you didn't really have to go that far. Like you didn't really have to go that far, dude. Like anyway, this is where he started mocking Hangman Adam Page. This is where he puts Matt Jackson right on the top rope. This is where Matt Jackson started elbowing him. This is what worked, and then he hit him off, and this is where he fell right off the top rope. This is where Matt Jackson was right on the top rope. This is where he tried to get back standing right onto the ropes. This is where he took out these Samoan bros with a crossbody right on the outside to keep him busy for a while for that. And then that's when he runs back in. This is when Brian Cage tried to close on him. He ducks and rolls over to Hangman Adam Page's corner, tags him right in. This is where Hangman Adam Page. This is where he hits him with a right hand, start punching him like boom, 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 boom. And this is where right hand, and this is where he tried to throw him right to the corner. This is where Brian Cage counters. This is where Hangman Adam Page slide ducks. This is where Hangman Adam Page also boots him right to the face. This is where Brian Cage catches him into a German suplex but he flips over straight up like with a backflip. I was like, dang, that's the most amazing. That was the most amazing reversal backflip I have ever seen from a light heavyweight wrestler. Like, dang, like he did so impressively. He did so perfectly impressive. Like I'm not sure if I ever seen this from any light heavyweights before. Like that did it so perfectly. This is where this is where Bishop Khan grabs onto Hangman Adam Page. This is where Brian Cage tried to hit a move. This is where Hangman Adam Page counters with a kick. This is where he got out of Bishop's grasp. He hits him with a springboard clothesline right off the mid rope and right off the apron with Bishop Khan. This is where he hits him. This is where Hangman Adam Page hits another most perfectionate backflip with a moonsault right off the top rope. This is where he thought this was going to be it because he went for a one. But Brian Cage kicks out of two. Like, and this is where Hangman Adam Page was like, he started clapping, trying to focus, trying to get ready to try to hit his finishing move, which was the buckshot lariat. But before Hangman Adam Page had a chance to and this is where we see both Khan and Emotion came and grabbed both Hangman Adam Page's legs. This is where the Young Bucks ran out of their post into their side of the apron and as the unlegal men. This is where they came in and hit a double suicide dive into the two mogul embassy members. And then this is where And this is where Hangman Adam Page had the advantage. This is where Hangman Adam Page tried to jump up and try to hit him with a sunset flip. This is where Brian Cage catches him and slams him to an Alabama slamming spine buster, like boom, which I have never seen that move before. I was like, wow. I was like, if this was the F10, this would most definitely kick. He would most definitely wouldn't kick out of this. Like after he hit an F10, like, and I was like, yeah, like maybe it's not gonna be over yet because he just got him back in the ring, and for the fact that the Young Bucks just got out and knocked down both their men, and I believe they probably, even if they retained, they would probably wait until all three men are on there. This is where Brian Cage got Hangman Adam Page right on the top rope, trying to get ready to hit him with an avalanche F10, but Hangman Adam Page counters right out of it. But this is where Hangman Adam Page counters and intercepts into a quick Hurricane Rana, make him flip right off the top rope and landed right on back first. This is where Brian Cage caught a double super kick from surprise, like boom, like you would probably see on an AEW Fight Forever game, like what they did with Trent Beretta on the advertisement. And it is when the Young Bucks go for a double super kick for the Mobile Embassy's Samoan Bros, like Emotion and what's his name, and Khan. This is where it didn't phase Emotion. It was like and it's like double super kick. This is where the Young Bucks try to go for their flipping double pile driver springboard the springboard flipping double pile driver onto Bishop Khan, but Matt Jackson was having trouble spinning Khan over. But this is where Hangman Adam Page voluntarily help him out and try to go for a pile driver. This is where they nearly got the move successfully executed. This is where out of nowhere, this is where Brian Cage catches him into a flipping pop-up power bomb, boom, and then he lifts him back up, and then he get ready to hit him with an F10. But with Khan with the white noise position, and then when Emotion with the Samoan drop position, and they slammed him Hangman Adam Page and Mac Jackson. They hit Mac Jackson and Hangman Adam Page with those moves, and then that's when Brian Cage hits him with an F10 right onto Nick Jackson slamming, had him slamming, and then he rolled out of the ring, and then this is where he pins Hangman Adam Page, but he referee count one, the referee count two, but Hangman Adam Page kicks out in a 2.99999, 0.1 seconds out of the three. 2.999. I was like, wow, like I expected that to be the finish. I was like, if they retain it, I think they're gonna. If they're gonna retain, I believe they're gonna. What's it called? I believe this is gonna be it. Like, but no, like wow. I was like, yeah, maybe because that slam, like maybe Bishop put away all kinds of wrestlers with that move, but but Hangman Adam Page, like he's probably on a whole nother level right now. So I don't think you're gonna put away Hangman Adam Page with that move whatsoever. But this is where they started throwing each other, like the Mogul Embassy's Trios champions started throwing each other, hitting Hangman Adam Page with splashes, diving elbows, and even a double splash. And then this is where Khan and Cage got Hangman Adam Page laying. That's when Bishop had his arms and his head and his shoulders, and while Brian Cage had his legs, and this is where Emotion. And this is where he hits him with a splash with them carrying Hangman Adam Page. Like, boom, it looks so devastating. If it hadn't been for the Young Bucks, they probably would have retained. But this is where This is where the Young Bucks stopped him with a one. This is where the Young Bucks is Matt Jackson hit him with a super kick when as soon as the referee counts to 2. And then this is where to break it up. This is where both Samoan brothers try to go for a triple power bomb. This is where that's what the duo names is. Their names is Gates of Agony. Trying to do they lift them up in a double back suplex position. Put on what's that on Brian Cage's around his neck to pick him up and do a power bomb, do like a shield triple palm power bomb. But this is where Nick Jackson came in and grabbed his brother Matt Jackson. This is where he started doing double super kicks onto the Gates of Agony. This is where, and then they also did it on Brian Cage too. This is where they hit. This is where the both Gates of Agony members did a clothesline. They did it at the same time, right onto both Nick and Matt Jackson. This is where Hangman Adam Page came back, hitting a double buckshot lariat on both men, like roll in and close on both of them. This is where hit him with a double clothesline. This is where Brian Cage tried to catch him into an F10, I believe. Or no, it was a discus lariat. He tried to go for a discus lariat. He ducked. He hits him with the dead eye, slamming him with so much force. And then this is when the commentators thought we're gonna have new champions, but I was like, if so, then I'll say not just yet. We was like 1, and the referee went 2, and then Brian Cage had his shoulder up right at 2.9 seconds. And this was Shivani's like, not just yet. And this is when Hangman Adam Page tried to go for his finisher, which was the buckshot lariat. But this was when Swerve Strickland tried to hit him with Hangman Adam Page with that stare, that hypnotizing stare. Like we put all his focus on him, like we'll face to face with him. And this is where when Hangman Adam Page was off focus, and then this is where Brian Cage hit him with a discus clothesline. This is where he was getting ready to hit him with try to go for the drop clone, wherever that means. This is where Heyman Adam Page rolled him up in the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll up. And then when the referees count to 3, I was like, "You serious? We got new we got new Ring of Honor ROH World Trios Championships." Well, I just said the initials already said Ring of Honor. He really just counted to 3. Like, wow. I expected they eventually going to have new Trios Tag Team Champions, but I know it's going to be in this manner. Like, wow. Like, I cannot believe Hangman Adam Page literally did it. Like, now and the Young Bucks are 3-time champions for the fact that they won the previous 2 from 2 different wrestlers that's now wrestling in WWE. And then now they're finally they finally regained those tag titles like a few years later with their other former Bullet Club teammate, which now is the Elite teammate, right? And they finally are the Trios Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I'm very happy for these 3 guys, and I'm a huge fan with these 3 guys, along with Kenny Omega as the Elite, and I'm very happy that they won and pulled it off, and they finally became the new Trios. But what has me wondering, like, what's next for these 3 belts? I think we should continue watching the upcoming AEW episodes to find out what's next for the new Trios champions. And I think they should hold these titles for a little while, because that's what Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony did, like when they very first won the championship at the beginning of this year, I believe. They held it for like the whole entire year. Like, I would say over a half a year, like about 60% of the year, like already. I would say, if not, no, I would say like 70, 75, near 70, 75%. out of the year, like they've been trios championship. But I think that Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks should hold that title for a little while, even though not that much baby faces hold their championships for over a year. But I think these champions, other than Orange Cassidy, I think other than Orange Cassidy to hold that title, the international title for over a year. I think the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page should do the same, and then they should bring on some great banger matches like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks did, even though they had a short reign from 2 reigns as the AEW Trios Championships. But yeah, and then I guess that's the end of tonight's AEW Rampage, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And I will give tonight's AEW Rampage and please don't criticize me, but this has been the best AEW. This has been the best, like the number 1 best AEW 2-hour special I have ever watched in my entire life as a wrestling fan. I'll say so. I would give it 4 stars, 4 out of the 5. And this was the best AEW, the number 1 best AEW 2-hour special edition of AEW Rampage I've ever watched. And I'm going to give it 4 stars because of it, because they had so many great matches and segments. It was all put out together like SmackDown. Please don't judge me down in the comments below. But y'all can have y'all's opinions. There's nothing wrong with that, but please be respectful to the assassin himself. But anyways, but how y'all would rate tonight's AEW Rampage? And did y'all enjoy the AEW Rampage? And what y'all think? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what y'all think about my video of this episode of the SNA podcast and the last episode 43 of the SNA podcast. And yeah, let me know down in the comments from here, and then also watch Friday Night SmackDown's review part 6, and then this was the episode 44 of the SNA podcast of the AEW AEW Rampage 2-hour special review, and this was my first ever 2-hour event, 2-hour special event of AEW Rampage 2. So this was very special for me to review, and this was 2 hours long, of course, as you could see on y'all's into the video of the timeline. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the latest episode 44 of the SNA podcast, the AEW Rampage Part 6. And make sure y'all check out my AEW Rampage, my AEW Collision review Part 6, episode 45 of the SNA podcast. And I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, for this podcast. And I hope y'all have a great night. I hope we'll see y'all tomorrow night. Or should I say later on tonight, because it is the late night and I guess you could say early morning of way too early morning, like a little bit after midnight. A little bit after midnight. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and make sure you comment below, subscribe if y'all haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow night. I hope y'all have a great night tonight, and a good one at night, and sweet dreams. I don't know what that means, but yeah, the point is y'all have a great, blessed night, and see y'all tomorrow night. I'm glad for y'all, for those who's watching, and I guess this is the end right here. Yeah, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, out.